Dharma, the jewel, wish-fulfilling, jewel-bearing trees of the realistic teaching about the nature of reality and the fruits of the gnosis of liberation. Their pool consists of the 8 liberations filled with the water of concentration, covered with the lotuses of the 7 purities, who bathes therein becomes immaculate. So this is like, I think I did say something about daily life. So as you read, one of the things about the Vimalakirti, why Peter Sellars loves it so much, is it brings the Dharma into sort of the daily mundane life. Vimalakirti is a citizen of the town. He is living there. And one way of doing, a very important way of doing that Buddhists do, is they do like poetical homologization. Sorry for the word. Or poetical assimilation. In other words, when you take a bath, a nice hot bath, you've been sitting uncomfortably in a chair at Tibet House, listening to some mad professor ranting and raving. Your body's a little stiff and sore, you have to walk home, sit in the subway, whatever, you did too much yoga today, or you didn't do enough. So you get in a nice hot bath. What do you do? Ah, a nice hot bath. But what is that hot water? That hot water is the loving energy of many beings who went out there in the desert and they drilled and they injured their hands on the well and the drill, and they got some crappy pay from Exxon, and then they like took it and then they refined it and then they shipped it and then they pumped it into your building, and then the janitor went and turned on the furnace and the hot water heater, and then it flows into your thing, and that warmth is love of all those people getting that oil for everybody. Yes, they got some pay for it, but really they thought they were doing something worthwhile, all of them, some level. And so that's love. So then that reminds you of the loving web of interconnection of all beings, is the warmth in that water. Then water itself, the element is the goddess in the Guhya Samaja Mandala, is the esoteric Tibetan mandala. She is the goddess Mamaki, female Buddha goddess, not just ordinary goddess, Buddha goddess, female Buddha. Mamaki is her name. And she is water. And that water is so beautiful, it soothes and heals, and it keeps thirst, and it's like 90% of the human body, and it's essential to life, and et cetera, et cetera. And so that water is like your own sense of melting down your rigid identity that makes you feel separate and paranoid and depressed and frightened of people and like, or greedily wanting to do something to them, or angry with them, and it melts that all down and soothes it down, and that water is the cohesion of all things in the universe. And the inner water, the psychic water in your mind, is washing your problems away and your negative things that you did, and you're cleansing yourself, and you're confessing your mistaken things during the day and the mean word you said to so-and-so. And you can make that bath into a Dharma practice. And you don't have to wait and go, oh yeah, okay, so right to my yoga center, or go to my insight center, I'm practicing. That's stupid. I mean, that also can be helpful. But you're practicing your bathtub. What is this? My favorite practice, one of mine, is washing the dishes. I really enjoy washing the dishes. When I have guests come to the house, and then sometimes my wife, after announcing that she's a horrible hostess and they'll have to worry about their food themselves, she grabs a great rap on that. Then she goes usually and makes something really delicious. And then throws everybody else out. Then we eat that, and then the guests, they're all in good behavior because she gets them like tight right away. And so then they want to like clear the table, and I let them, then I'm in the sink before them, and I'm washing the dishes. And then, oh no, we can do that. I said, no, you can't. I like washing the dishes. The dishwashing is the best. When you wash the dishes, the dishwashing is cleansing the taints of your mind, of the defilements of all beings, all their confusion, all ignorance and misknowing, all of those, the idiocies of all those who voted Republican ever, or who didn't vote in disgust, because they think the Democrats are no good, unless they're people, we're not going to do this, we'll vote for Ralph Nader. And you're washing that away when you wash the dishes. And it's wonderful. The water's usually warm. You know, you try not to waste it. You put it in the thing. Maybe a little bit of soap. Actually, my old one was very suspicious of dish soap. He didn't like it. He said, it makes you think you cleaned it. He says, but then the chemicals in the soap, how do you know you got them off the teeth? You then rinse it and it feels smooth to your fingers, and it sticks, there's a slime into your finger, but you don't know. And then you have to waste a lot of water making sure it gets off. Better just to use elbow grease and a little bit of water. He was very, very suspicious about soap, all right? Tiny little bit you can. Anyway, this is what you do. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. What are you not brushing your teeth? I'm brushing my teeth so it'll be nice and white. Then I'll smile and I'll be famous and people will like me. No, you're brushing your teeth because, well, first of all, you're sorry for the microbes who are living in your teeth. Great-grandfather might be a microbe in there because he beat his wife back in Tennessee, whatever, and you're sorry to brush them away, and you take a better rebirth as a person back again. And whatever you do, you could do a compassion practice in brushing your teeth. You can think about all the people who don't have any teeth because they ate too much sugar. You can, whatever, you can really go to town on brushing your teeth. You combine, like a poet, everything you do with some great practice. And remind yourself of that practice. So everything becomes a sadhana, what we call. In Tibetan Buddhist tantric practice, a sadhana means a means of achievement, literally. Siddhi or sadhyate, he achieved, it is achieved. The word sad means, siddha means one who has achieved. The great adept, what we call. Great yogis, But sadhana, and so people translate sadhana as practice. I don't like that. I call sadhana performance. I'm fed up with Buddhists and their practices. I'm really fed up with it. The Holy Buddha, hi, where did you go to? I was practicing. Well, great, when are you going to perform? Practice, practice, practice. And who wants to sit there listening to you reciting your scales? And then they were practicing. Then they come out from the practice and, I don't want to give $5 to this beggar. I don't want to do that. Well, I'll go practice later. I got so annoyed when we had the Newark Peace Conference with the Dalai Lama. All these Buddhists, they were running up to me. Well, when is Dalai Lama going to teach? I said, he's teaching in Newark. Oh, that's a conference on helping the poor people. That's not teaching. It isn't? Oh, well, maybe he'll come and give a teaching next year in the Beacon Theater. Oh, I'll go there. I'm not going to Newark. Well, then when you get to Beacon Theater, he's going to teach you. He's going to say, go help the poor people. So when are you going to listen? But it didn't do any good. Every New Yorker is terrified of going to Newark. It's like the heart of darkness. I couldn't believe it. We had billboards up and everywhere because one of the patrons owned a bunch of billboards. We had a bunch of free billboards. No New Yorkers would go to Newark. Oh, I love that. I can't wait to see him. But I will wait till next year when he's back in the Beacon Theater on Broadway at 76th Street. I'm not going to Newark. No way. I really was, I was surprised. Human fame foibles. It's adorable, really.